Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes out of your afternoon. I know everybody is very busy, so this won't be long. We can whirl through this thing in about 15 minutes or so. Um, we haven't muted anybody's line, so if anybody wants to ask a question, you could do so in the chat or just, unmute your phone and voice it aloud. But wanted to just take a moment to go through the benefits of membership in the Mortgage Collaborative. TMC has been around for about 7 years or so. We have 196 lender members across America, and we do a bunch of cool stuff for our members. It's a really unique organization. And I always tell people, don't, ask me, talk to one of our members. There's a really unique culture with TMC, and we're going to go through our network and what members enjoy. So I know we have some prospective members on the line. I know some of you. We also have some new members that are on that want to get up to speed on all the things that are available to them and their companies as part of TMC. You see here our mission. We are a mortgage cooperative singularly focused on the growth and profitability of independent mortgage bankers and community lending institutions. We've really resisted the temptation to get into too many different things. Especially times like this, we have members that ask us about advocacy. There are a lot of organizations that do that really well. I think one of the things that's helped us be effective to our members is we are just solely focused on our members, their growth and profitability, making their businesses bigger and more profitable. Everything we do really revolves around that. Our philosophy is to create an experience driven by and focused on our members. We'll go through it in a moment. Our members control everything with TMC. Our board of directors is comprised of our members. Every single membership benefit initiative that I'm going to go through here has been driven by, created by, in some cases, our members. To foster an environment of collaboration and to encourage openness in a family-centric pay-it-forward culture. Our last conference was in New Orleans just before all hell kind of broke loose, and we had a lot of new members there. New members at a TMC conference always say the same thing. Like, I can't believe how open and nice everybody is with one another. It really is a family style feeling. The members are invested in each other's success. They are, willing to let their guard down. It's pretty cool. So how we help our members, there's a bunch of ways, but these are really the core ways we try to help our members to stay out in front of evolving consumer preferences, like the hockey analogy, where the puck is going and not where the puck is now. To embrace technology to reduce cost and deliver better outcomes for our members' borrowers. To select the correct fulfillment partners and vendors. This is so important. Obviously, the cost of being wrong has never been greater. All the dog and pony shows from the 8 billion vendors in the mortgage industry look great. Like, talk to somebody that, whatever vendor you're thinking about using, talk to one of our members or 5 of them that are using that vendor or partner to get the real world experience. So that has really driven a lot of value to the members. We do that in a lot of different ways. To know your numbers. I'll talk a little bit about our data benchmarking tool, which is a free benefit of membership. It's included in membership with TMC that is pretty unique and our members get a ton of value out of. And then to stay educated on the most relevant emerging industry issues. If you've been paying attention to anything we've been doing these last 7 weeks, and this is, like kind of TMC and who we are, we really just dropped everything we were doing 7 weeks ago. To refocus really our entire staff and bandwidth around these daily networking calls and educational sessions that we're doing, all related to the changed business climate that really has driven a lot of value to the members. Okay, so the direct benefits of membership in TMC. I mentioned TMC Benchmark. I'll get a little bit more into that in a second. It is a data benchmarking tool that we built for our members with the help of one of our software partners. Virtual educational and networking events through our TMConnect platform. That's what I was just talking about. We've been running 10 to 12 calls or sessions a week. All the content is driven by the members. We've been, obviously these last 6 or 7 weeks, we've been talking about things like verifying employment, appraisals, closings, all the stuff that's been impacted by the pandemic. You know, we've shifted the focus to forbearance and how to handle that. Now we're starting to look more on offensive side of the ball type stuff as lenders are starting to get a better handle on, you know, the pipeline stuff and are starting to think about the future a little bit more. Collectively negotiated discounts and incentives with 68 best-in-class preferred partners. This is not us saying, hey, use these vendors for this reason or that. This is our members saying these are the companies that we have the best success with. You know, we drive completely off the members for our partner network. And then obviously, you know, the power of our network, 196 lender members, look to negotiate specific discounts and incentives with our members. And everybody that's on this call, I'll follow up and send you over a copy of our member benefits document. And it lists out the partner companies and what the specific discount or incentive is with each. And then we do 2 different types of live events. We do 2 large conferences each year in February and August. We were just in New Orleans in mid-February, about 350 people there. We're scheduled to be in Denver in the middle of August and are still planning on having the conference. Things starting to look better. So we're hopeful we're able to do that. And then we do these things called collaboration labs, and I'll get a little bit more into that in a moment. Okay, so TMC Benchmark. If you can't manage it, you can't measure it. That's pretty simple. And you know how quickly things are changing in the mortgage industry. You know, what we kept hearing from our members was, you know, they were part of data benchmarking exercises, maybe where, you know, it was real expensive, or there was like 800 data fields, or you didn't get the data back for like 5 months. We started doing these collab labs, which I'll get into in a second, where we really take like peers and put their data side by side each other so they can really intimately see how they stack up to companies very much like them in all the most important areas. All that started our members kind of talking to us about, like, is there a way to create a monthly way to benchmark ourselves against the network and our peers monthly? So we created TMC Benchmark in conjunction with LBA Ware, who's a great partner of ours. And, you know, it is a monthly data benchmarking tool. It's open from the 5th to the 19th of every month. And shortly after that, in the next, like by the 25th of each month, all of our members that participate get a link sent to them to a customized dashboard showing their production in all the most important areas against our entire network, their peer group within it. We have more than 100 TMC members signed up and using the tool. It measures about the 50 most important metrics involved in running a mortgage banking operation as decided by our members. It's not like ridiculously time intensive. Even if you enter the data manually, it takes about 20 minutes. We have some automated options as well. And the dashboards are slick. They're aesthetically pleasing. It's a great tool for your management. You know, most of our members share it with like their department heads and use it as part of their, you know, monthly or weekly management meetings. And it's free as part of TMC membership, which is really inexpensive. We'll get to that in a moment as well. Virtual learning. So this is something that was a big 2020 initiative for us. And with the whole coronavirus madness, it really, it accelerated this to where this is now fully rolled out within our network. Like I said, we run most weeks over 10, 11, or 12 sessions a week. You know, like 3 a day, a lot of days, like at 2, 3, and 4 p.m. Eastern. Almost all lender-led discussions on, you know, the topics that are most relevant to the members. You know, we've got some other things that are part of this as well. We have some working groups for like service. We have a servicing professionals working group. We have a CRA professionals working group, marketing professionals working group. So we have some specific working groups of that consist of professionals jobs and our member companies that have their own calls, and we help facilitate a lot of things for them. Again, all this is free as part of membership. For all the employees of all of our member companies, we've averaged almost 100 attendees per call on all these calls that we've been doing these last 6 or 7 weeks. And they're all very interactive, lenders asking questions. It's pretty cool and has evolved into a huge part of who we are. Okay, our preferred partner network. So, you know, there's, you know, other groups like us that have existed in the mortgage industry before. There's some major differences here. One is our lenders control this. If we have a partner that is sucking, our members, not doing well by our members, they will be out. Our members control who we bring in. We're not oversaturating any space. We're not just bringing people in to bring them in. We want to eliminate unnecessary vendor noise, and we only want to bring in relevant providers. And like, who is relevant is based off the experiences of our members, not who has the best pitch deck. So, in some emerging areas, we're forced to make decisions on companies that don't have big networks of clients yet. But that is unique. It's also very transparent. If we have a partner and maybe you don't get a discount if you're an existing client, and we have some of those. We try to get that, obviously, when we negotiate with every company, but we'd rather have the best companies than, only people that will give ridiculous discounts that are essentially meaningless. So we're very transparent about that. And we don't beat our lenders over our heads with our vendors either. Like, there's no speed dating, there's no, it's more consultative, I guess, is the way to approach it. If there's a vendor or a partner that seems to make sense for your company, then our member benefits advocate will mention it to you for sure. But we're not going to nag you with providers that it makes no sense for you to use, or providers that you already have a great provider in that space. So, I will follow up and send everybody on this call a copy of our member benefits document, again, which lists the partners and the specific discount or incentive with each. Our conferences are really unique. Like everything we do, it's driven by our members, from where we have them, what city, to the format, the agenda, the content. Our members have really driven our events in the direction of just highly interactive would be the best way to describe it. There's almost no general sessions. Typically, with the breakfast, and then we'll have, maybe one kind of keynote speaker in the morning, 9:30 on, outside of lunch. It is like, get up, move around, 4 options per time slot. It's a mix of breakout sessions, whiteboard sessions, workshops, every session very intently. We want people to walk away with very actionable things that they can implement into their companies to produce better results. We have some fun. We do fun things at night, obviously, but it's very much a roll up your sleeves and let's get after it approach to our conferences. So they are very unique events. You see what I mentioned earlier, just the familial pay it forward culture that is very prevalent within TMC at those events. And yeah. Whoa, what happened there? There we go. All right. And we are, yes, in Denver, August 9 through 11 at the Hyatt Regency, which is a great property, God willing. So, and is this our video? Okay. Yes, we have a short video. It is short that gives you just kind of an overview. This is from one of our last conference.
It's all about the power of the network. It's very important to figuring out how you're doing business, what you're doing differently, what you may want to do in the future.
The Mortgage Collaborative provides just an outstanding forum to explore and discuss challenges with other lenders in the same space.
There's nothing that replaces peer-to-peer mastermind, and there's just nothing out there like that.
So the collaboration that you have here is unique, and it's different than any other conference. It's smaller, it's more intimate.
I like the collaboration labs. I just went now to just a panel meeting of CEOs, and we very candidly talked about what we're doing, what we're not doing, what we're working on, what have you heard, what can we get better.
Even though there's a lot of our competition this year, we love hearing new ideas from them, and the more that you can elevate everybody's game, the better off the client is.
The conferences are really where the magic happens. Our members take away a lot of great interactions with our preferred partners, help improve their bottom line.
The ability to cross-pollinate best practices
among our members has been very, very powerful.
It's for the people, by the people. The agenda, the content, the format of these conferences is controlled by our lender members.
It's the culture we built at the Mortgage Collaborative. It's the TMC family that I call it.
It's the intimacy, it's the friendship. You look people in the eye, and people just feel comfortable here.
I appreciate that everyone's pretty authentic and genuine here. You know, they're going to tell you what works and what doesn't, and you don't get that at a lot of the other trade shows.
The value I was looking for was really an ability to connect with my peers and talk about best practices.
Our mission is to make sure that our members learn from each other. And it's really have to set the right tone, safe environment where people can feel good about sharing. Their secret isn't going to be taken to hurt them, but to elevate the industry overall.
True collaboration is happening where people are sharing their best practices, getting in rooms, sharing what's working, what's not working, how do they overcome challenges. This is how we innovate.
It's a beautiful thing when people can collaborate and get slightly vulnerable and really help each other run a better business.
Very cool. And, you know, hey, I mean, you know, most of these videos, any market, but that is genuinely representative of the vibe at our conferences and, you know, the feeling that the members have participating in them. So, whoops, it's so good I'm going to show it again. No, I'm not going to put you through that. All right, the collaboration lab. So these started really on accident. Because of that culture that you saw in that video, our members started to connect with one another outside of conference. They were developing great bonds and, you know, we're having such productive discussions about really intimate business issues that one of our members that you saw in that video, Jason Maddieto, him and like 5 other CEOs, they like became, you know, cocktail buddies at one of our conferences. And he's like, let's, you know, keep this conversation going. Let's all pick a date a month from now, everybody come out to my shop. We'll really get into the weeds. They actually did it. We caught wind of it. We're like, hey, can we come pick up the dinner tab or help in any way? Immediately, it was like, oh my God, we are on to something here. This is really cool. Fast forward now, 3 years later, the exact number I think is on the next slide. Yeah, we had over 80 member companies participate in 2019. Now, we have 196 lender members now, but we've added like 30 in the last 3 or 4 months. So it was really like 50% of our members participated in a lab last year. You know, considering these aren't even our conferences, travel is involved. I think it really speaks to the value of the labs. What we do is we put together, they usually start, you know, a new lab group with 6, 7, 8, 9 companies. Similar size and scope, don't directly compete with one another. They typically grow over time. We have some lab groups that have been together for 3+ years now that have, you know, they meet another lender that's kind of in their niche. They want to add them. They become friends at conference. You know, so they typically grow. After the companies get to know each other, they typically want to bring in new people. Everybody signs a mutual NDA. Everybody submits data metrics. We put them side by side. And then it's a day and a half, just really deep dive discussion on every aspect of running a mortgage banking operation with the metrics as the backdrop. They don't dominate the discussion as much as you would think. It's a lot of strategic discussion. You know, obviously whatever the heck is going on in the industry at the time is driving the discussion. A lot of experiences with third parties, but it is really cool. This initiative is probably like who we are more than anything. And the value that members get out of the labs is incredibly rewarding. Here's just a few pictures of some of the labs last year. You can kind of see it's, you know, everybody will go get dinner one night you know, full day and a half together. So pretty cool. Okay, so the membership costs and details, and then I will be done here. Whoops. Okay, so membership is $2,000 for the first year, and then $3,500 a year after that. No strings attached. You don't have to be a member for 5 years. We've had some members like get acquired, or a couple that have gone out of business, but outside of that, like nobody doesn't renew. The membership fee is the same for everybody. And We are completely independent, so we're not selling any of our own products and services, which I just think is vitally important. So it allows us to truly have the best third-party providers. And then, outside of nominal registration fee for our live events and the cost to get there, everything in here in this deck is included in that cost. So there's no like hidden whammies. So some other details, we have 195, I think it's 196 now. We had 53 new members last year, and that's what, we don't have any salespeople. I guess I'm the sales guy. I've been our COO for a while now. And it's really just conversations like this. We're not trying to sell membership. We want to tell people, hey, this is what we're doing. If you're the right type of company, we'd love to have you as a part of it. If just being honest, we are completely uninterested in any companies that are not interested in anything bigger than themselves. We need and want and only desire companies that are willing to be part of a bigger picture, kind of rising tide lifts all ships, and make each other stronger and the industry stronger. The mix: 42% depositories, 58% are independent mortgage banking companies, no brokers or anything like that. And our board is comprised of our lender members, meaning we are actually managed by our members. So, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so that was longer than 15 minutes. I'm not sure what happened there. The video is new. That threw me off. They just put the video in there. So, okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer? I know I went through a lot there, and I will follow up. I'll send this deck as well as our preferred vendor list with the discounts on there to everyone. So you can have that to digest, to socialize with others in your organization. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, obviously reach out to me. I'll be happy to jump on a call or answer any questions that you have. But that's the overview of TMC. What I didn't mention that's not in the deck that is a very real benefit of membership is, like, for example, perfect example, this morning, one of our members in New Mexico, he's like, hey, I want to start servicing. I want to use this sub-servicer. Can you connect me with some IMB members that are servicing and that use this sub-servicer? So we combed through our database. We found 6 IMB members that service and use the same sub-servicer that this member's uses. We've already set up calls with that member and 3 of those other members. So that is powerful. It's nothing you'll find on our website, but that happens all the time, whatever third-party provider you're using. And this sub-servicer is not even a part of our network. I mean, we don't get caught up on that. And, we're just looking to make our members better. That's just one good example, but that happens all the time. I'm looking at using this point of sale provider, I hate my LOS. Can you connect me with, some members that just transitioned away from Encompass, so I can pick their brain on the search and, which providers they ended up with. So, and other things too, that are kind of unwritten or unstated benefits of membership. So, looking through the list here, Felix, our friend Felix Viner from First World Mortgage, who is a member. Felix, you were at your first TMC conference in New Orleans. You mind backing me up that the whole familial pay it forward culture is not just some kind of sales pitch?
Yeah, I can. It was actually eye-opener. We were part of different co-ops before, and I think we were like member number 40 or 30, right? We were a member for a long time, but this was the first conference that I ever attended. And the first thing I said, I wish I attended all of the conferences from 5 years before that. Members are great. There's so much transparency and willingness to help, I guess. I never experienced that before. So here's my 5 cents about it, I guess.
Thank you. And yeah, and that's what happens. And because of that culture, you develop relationships, you know, with people that you will interact with one-on-one. If you join a lot, like there's a lab group of 15 IMBs that I've been kind of facilitating for 3 years now. They're like friends, like outside of work. And, you know, through the whole Corona madness, we've been doing like these Zoom get-togethers, talking about like how you handling this, outside of the stuff we're doing for the whole network. You know, their lab group, you know, 15, 16 people is jumping on these calls and, you know, having even more kind of intimate discussions about all the things that lenders are thinking about and talking about right now. So, but that's it. Really appreciate you taking some time out. Unless anybody has any questions, thank you. And I'll follow up on email and shoot you guys some more info. Awesome. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Thanks,
Take care.
Rich.
Yep.
Thank you.